What's good, everybody? It's time to look at some more Mass Effect hot takes. You guys shared some of your hot takes with me, so let's go through them. Let me know if you guys like this series and we'll keep doing it. But let's go ahead and get into you guys' takes. Kasumi and Zaid were done dirty in Mass Effect 2. Never given any conversation scenes. They were DLC characters, but they shouldn't have been. They're dope characters. I agree with you. It would have been awesome to have them as main characters. I feel that being relegated to DLC didn't do them justice. Both of them were cool characters and interesting in their own ways. Especially hearing about Kasumi's exploits as a thief and finding out that Zaid founded the Blue Suns. That was cool. The canned responses that the two have when you talk to them, I never liked that. I hate how Kaidan and Ashley got that treatment in 3. Ashley is an S-tier romance character. I remember on my Mass Effect tier list video, I put her in the alright tier because you don't really get to see her much after Mass Effect 1, and then there's the stigma around Ashley. But after the take in that last video, I've changed my stance a bit. Don't think she's a S as a whole, but maybe somewhere from B to a low A. Now when it comes to solely relationship substance, I could say she's S tier, because her and Shepard's relationship do go through more highs and lows compared to the other ones. And that to me is what makes it intriguing. They have to overcome some personal issues before they can get back together. And I actually think that their relationship ended up being stronger because of that. I guess this applies to Kaidan as well, but I like Ashley more as a character. They say choices don't matter after Mass Effect 3 ends, but I disagree. The extended ending shows you the state of the galaxy and its characters after the Reaper War. For instance, if you cure the genophage, the Krogan are reformed and rebuild their civilization. Sabotage the cure, the Krogan face extinction. You make peace with the Geth and Quarians. They all coexist in harmony. If you only sided with one of the races, then only one of them dominates Rannoch. You let Jack students stay on the sidelines or lead the front lines. They either go back to Grissom or they're buried, and so on and so on. I think that when people say that their choices don't matter, it's usually around the fate of Shepard. 3's ending is bittersweet in that there's no clear clue that Shepard will survive. In the control or synthesis options, they're dead. But in the destroy ending, we can see them breathing, but how long could they survive? How extensive are their cybernetic implants? Their fate with this ending was left open-ended. Maybe this will be answered in Mass Effect 4 or 5, but as far as the rest of the universe, you're right. Shepard does have the option of helping out multiple races, or dooming 2 of them to extinction. And yeah, you get to see Jack students live, or be 6 feet under. It is nice to see how your options play out, even though it's mostly still images. My hot take is that the Reapers are the biggest weakness of the series and should have never existed. Any overarching plot should have been around resolving the issues of the galaxy, mainly the genophage and the conflict with the Geth. Besides Sovereign in the visual conversation, the writing involving the Reapers is notably weaker than everything else in the series. Meanwhile, every conversation and mission about the genophage is incredibly interesting or heartbreaking. Even the people who hate Mass Effect 3 agree that the genophage conclusion is the best the series has to offer, and should have had more of a spotlight. I can see what you mean. The Reapers are the overarching enemy, but we don't really spend a lot of time fighting them. It's either Mercs, Creepers, Geth, Collectors, or Cerberus. I mean, the only Reaper enemies we fight until 3 are Husk, unless you want to include the Collectors. You know in Mass Effects 1 and 2 they're trapped in dark space, so we fight their agents instead. I think in 3, we needed to see a bit more of them to capitalize on that slow burn to make their true arrival worth that wait. Plus, the writing went off the rails between 2 and 3. The change in writers really changed what the Reapers could have been. We know that they're harvesting the galaxy for a reason, but the organic and synthetic argument that Star Child gives, nah, I don't buy that. I thought that was a flawed part of the argument because we have EDI and the Geth who work with organics just fine. But while the Reapers are flawed, and boy are they flawed, they did cause every race to work together to face them. And Shepard managing to maneuver and bring them all together makes all that crap you had to go through worth it. I think you having the threat of this enemy that's coming to wipe you out, and all you can do is prepare for the inevitable, is the biggest appeal to the Reapers. Now focusing on the other races, I could get behind that. The ascension of the Krogan is one of the best stories in the series, and I would have liked to see more of that. Same goes for Rannoch and even Omega, but would that have really been enough? Like, how would Cerberus play into things? No, Reapers reduces their purpose a lot after Mass Effect 1, unless they evolve beyond being immoral sciences. Would they become the main enemy? Would our final boss be Kai Lang, since Elusive Man is a non-combatant? Would he become that super soldier that they were trying to create? Where would the grand conflict come from, you know? Who's the biggest threat? I could get behind the concept, but the execution is less clear. But maybe this is the route. A coup on a galactic scale. The Elusive Man, ruler of the Milky Way galaxy. Cerberus trying to make humans the top species in the galaxy, with his army of super soldiers. I could get behind that. Andromeda wasn't a bad game. You know, as time has passed, I can agree it's not a bad game. It's simply okay. Now I understand a lot of the hate towards the game at first. The glitches and bugs were terrible. They're still there a bit. Like, I shouldn't be phasing into the ground. And the worlds could be fun, but also be insanely empty. And some characters were annoying. But I do give Andromeda some credit. The overall story wasn't horrible, and it gave us some awesome characters. Plus, I love the ability to change specialization profiles. It's not the Mass Effect that I go back to often, but it's not bad. But that ends this video, guys. I love doing these videos. If y'all have more hot takes, feel free to leave them down below, and they may end up in the next hot takes video. But I wanted to thank you all for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe become a channel member, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
DJ Son of Freak.